Hi everyone, welcome once again to V Lounge. We have with us today Mr. Manish Srivastava, who's a seasoned professional in the world of treasury and financial planning, with a career spanning over 20 years. His journey is marked by significant milestones and leadership roles, showcasing his expertise in managing financial operations and navigating the intricacies of the financial sector. Throughout his career, he has gathered valuable insights and lessons, especially during his tenures at Edelweiss Financial Services, Carvey, Unimoni India, which is UAE Exchange, and currently at Black Soil. Manish's leadership style has evolved, and he now holds the position of Senior Vice President Treasury at Black Soil, where he continues to lead his team towards achieving their treasury and financial planning goals. His accomplishments are a testament to his dedication and strategic approach to treasury management. Manish's experience and insights make him a valuable resource in the ever-changing landscape of financial services. Please welcome Mr. Manish Srivastava. Thank you so
Hi.
much, sir. It's a pleasure having you with us today.
Pleasure for me to
Thank
be
you.
here with you.
Great. So wonderful career spanning across 20 years and worked with some really great organizations.
Yeah.
Before we delve into that, we'd like to know how Manish's journey started, from his college days.
Yeah.
What was it like back then?
So if you ask in the college days, then I have to go 20 years back.
Right,
So I belong to Varanasi,
right.
Modi ji's constituency. Everyone knows now. Kasi is well known.
True.
So my basic education had been from there, and as you all know, that highly competitive for the state like UP.
True.
Every parent like to see the children as either the doctor or the engineer.
Engineer,
So the
true.
trend I also had to follow. So I aspired for being engineer
Right.
and got a good rank in state engineering entrance test and opted for engineering college based out of Lucknow.
Okay.
So there was an government engineering college, Institute of Engineering and Technology. Now the entire campus had been translated into the UP Technical University, and when I went there, it were only 7 colleges in entire UP, and now it's more than 700
Okay.
due to the privatization.
Wow.
It was really tough at that time to enter into the engineering segment with lots of hopes and tough entrance. But after getting into the college and a place like Lucknow, thoroughly enjoyed the golden days of my life.
So it was a big thing doing engineering back then.
Yeah, it was like an achievement.
True.
At that stage, it was like an achievement. Yeah, and then it was suppose that your career is set now, at least on a track now, and then you can move forward from there.
True.
So
Well, that's a different thing of what you are doing today and what you did.
Yeah.
We'll definitely get to that.
So I'm sure you would have seen that movie Three Idiots when
Yeah.
Amir Khan had asked, "क्या है engineering करने के बाद क्यों बैंक में पड़ा हुआ है?" So, every time there are certain trends going on. So even after 6-7 years of my journey of post engineering, I tried to enter into the field of education
Right.
for the higher education actually. Then went for a GMAT. I wanted to be into the finance domain. If you be specific, then into the consulting actually.
Right.
So it was the time when I tried 2007. I started, then aspired, given CAT and GMAT and all. Got very good score in GMAT. So not got unable to get admission into IIMs and all the top-notch institutions.
True.
7 years had been a long time. So I got a good scholarship from the US-based college. That's So based on that scholarship, it gave me a confidence to build upon and go there for the higher studies, and also heard a lot of about overseas education's methodology and all. So wanted to experience that as well. So it was a full-time residential program at Boston. So
Interesting.
completed my finance from that, having in mind that engineering plus finance gives a good, boost for the consulting and
It's a terrific combination.
yeah, had been always thought of. Yeah,
True.
yeah.
So, coming to that bit, so you did your engineering. So, immediately after engineering, how easy or difficult it was for you to place a job or land a job for yourself?
So if I need to say, then had been two fields, either the medical or engineering.
Yeah.
So it was generally said among the students that it's very easy for getting admission into the medicals, the entrance is easier.
Right.
But for the engineering, the entrance had always been tougher. So cracking entrance is tough, but passing engineering is easy. So it's like
Okay.
most of the listeners know it's a one night fight. You had to go more than 50 different courses during 8 semesters, along with a course for your training where you had to go to the institutions and work for at least 6 to 8 weeks.
Right.
And then accordingly you pass it. And then you have to go to the real world for having some, say finding some jobs and all.
Right.
So when I passed, it was 2000,
Okay.
year 2000, and you would be familiar that .com burst just happened in that
Right.
year.
Yeah.
And it was like you had an offer in the hand, but the offer is not being honored. It's like a check you are having, but the bank has no money. So
Okay.
we had to follow the companies for getting the appointment, but it got delayed.
Right.
And it was not only with us, with entire across the industry, it was same. So somehow then we decided to move forward, and accordingly then I decided to prepare for civil services and landed to Delhi and then spent some time for that. But unfortunately didn't get that. Then joined the mainstream Reliance Industries and all.
Wow.
And accordingly spent good time there, and post marriage decided again for the higher studies.
I think that's an excellent show of resilience. So, what I see is that you kept on moving ahead. You kept on moving. You're always on your front foot. That I'm going to do this, if not this, if not this. So you basically, you had that mindset that I have to keep going ahead.
Yes. So if I say, when you think of any of the plan in your mind, having a very clear picture that after executing it, I'll be a bit relaxed. At least in my case, it never happened.
True.
I thought that once I'll crack engineering, I'll be settled.
True.
And then before I got settled, the .com happened.
True.
Then I had to again be ready for the new, fight in life, and then start a bit with some compromises and all.
True.
And then again, when I'm ready with another plan, something new came. So when I passed out, just adding up to this point, 2009, my MBA, then everyone knows that Lehman happened.
Right.
Subprime crisis was there.
Right.
So the dream was that I'll go and people will take me hands on hands. Oh, boss, the right set of candidate has come to US and will give him good job and all. But I saw people begging for the job just to save their visa, being active there, so that once the worst is gone, they get an opportunity to work there again. So there was no case for the people like us who were not having any experience in overseas and just passed out from business grad schools. So then the plan B activated. Most of the people were flying back to us, the Middle East, in search of job and internship. So we got internship at Dubai, and it was Dubai Mercantile Exchange, which gave us the opportunity. Nonetheless, I didn't get that final offer from there, but yes, Apna Desh, India, the great. So I don't repent. I am happy that I am back, and today when I see the economy, and the worldwide conditions where we stand today, I am really proud of it.
I think we are at an excellent standpoint today. India as a country is terrific in today's time.
Yes.
True. So, Right. So then, talking about the financial sector. So, from engineering, then you did whatever you had to, like you mentioned right now. What was your motivating factor to come into finance per se?
So engineering is a field where after a certain time it becomes a repetitive kind of job.
Right.
I mean, then something new one need to find, some new challenge.
Right.
And a person like me who had been to the engineering college as well in form of taking initiative for various, cultural activities. I had been the cultural secretary of my college, conducted one annual function at a very large scale in Lucknow.
Okay.
So I always was feeling that there is something in me which keep pushing me towards the leadership thing. So I was trying to be into the at least decision making chain.
Right.
And in that lane, if I want to be, then I need to have some more, add-on skills, which was only possible through, either the management courses or some other courses. So that was the thing which helped me
True.
to go there.
Interesting. So I think your first stint in finance was at Unimoni. Was it Unimoni first?
My first instance,
Sorry, Edelweiss.
yeah. So before that first short stint, I had been with Jan Irrigation.
Okay.
So when I came back, I was not having any job here.
Right.
So I had to start from scratch.
True.
And for that, in India, what I also, felt a bit heat because I was not having any accounting background. So I was not CA. I was an engineer and then MBA finance and business as major. So a lot of people who had been from this accounting background, either the BCom or the CA fraternity and all,
Right.
the world was populated with them.
Right.
But somehow I got an opportunity with the Jan Irrigation, and based on my learning skill, hard work, very quickly I developed a very good relationship with the lender community of that entity,
Okay.
which later I came to know is a part of treasury activity.
Oh.
Yeah, so it was coincidence, and then all the senior management whom I was reporting to, they understood that I could be a good value addition to the investor relations and treasury management, relationship management with the lenders. So from there it is started, and having finance into the mind as my majors, I always thought of joining any financial institution. So Edelweiss was the breakthrough for my that journey. And whatever I learned from the Jan Irrigation helped me a lot to hone up my skill set and help Edelweiss to have the long-term borrowing program from there. So they had taken, they just had formed a team for the long-term funding to support their NBFC and housing finance business.
Right.
The team known as Resource Mobilization. So I was the second addition to that team and helped Edelweiss in a good way.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Interesting. So then from Edelweiss, you moved on to Carvey, I suppose.
Yeah. So I spent around 3.5 years in the Edelweiss, and before the resource mobilization team was there, there was no fund-based banking line to the Edelweiss. So technically there was no bank associated with the Edelweiss for working capital support. So from 0 to 33, 34 banks, we added in just a span of 3.5 years.
Yeah.
The entire lending could range more than 10,000 crore, including rollovers and all. Introduced various kind of instruments to the Edelweiss. Very, very fast growth of the entity as well. Edelweiss, very, very sharp growth was there. And when the company grows, the team grows, the aspirations grows, and you also think of having a better role. So the Carvey was my next company, which gave me a good role.
Was that around treasury or was
It was all about the treasury. So I joined them and later headed the treasury and helped them to streamline their entire treasury functions.
Right.
So it was a retail-based NBFC company.
Okay.
The main product were to provide working capital loans to MSMEs and other kind of businesses. And later on, the entire book, along with the branches, were slum sold to the private equity investors. Today, the company is known as SPFC. Very recently, they got listed.
Okay.
Yeah, and my stint in Carby was around 2.5 years. So,
Interesting.
yeah.
Interesting. And then I believe Unimoni.
Yeah, so Unimoney are actually also known as UAE Exchange. Everyone would be familiar with the name of UAE Exchange when it comes to the money exchange. Whoever has gone overseas at least once in their life had been encountered with the branch of the UAE Exchange for money exchange or money transfer.
Right.
So they had been the pioneer in IMTS, that is International Money Transfer. Sorry. So, Mr. Shetty, B.R. Shetty had been the founder, member,
Right.
known into the industry, very, very known name. And they had a plan to start a full-fledged NBFC, make it scalable, and then to take forward from there. So for that, a new team was brought in under the leadership of Mr. Amit Saxena, who was the MD and CEO. For this NBFC activity, he was brought in. I was the second guy who joined this team as a Chief Treasury Officer. So I helped them to bring entire fundraise activity for this and help them to raise funds for gold loan. So we, in just 2.5 year time, we touched around 800 crore of the gold loan book and around 100 crore of the small business loan book, which was fantastic. And later on, at the parent level, some problem came up into the UAE Exchange or Unimoney Financial Services Limited. So they had to scale down their business, and today it is more on the, again, forex and money exchange side.
Okay.
So then I thought to separate from the company, and when Edelweiss came to know I'm looking for, they picked me back. So I joined them again as a head treasury retail business.
True.
Yeah.
Interesting. Now, talking about your current role at Black Soil. Now, how do you, what are you doing in treasury at Black Soil? I'm sure something great is in
Yeah,
place.
so Black Soil is an non-deposit taking, systemically important NBFC.
Okay.
It is backed by very renowned business families. One of them I had been in news very recently, Mr. Shashi Kiran Shetty, who had been instrumental in bringing the IM Mumbai, converting the NITI Mumbai into the IM Mumbai, first IM into the Maharashtra, and he's the chairperson of that. He's the chair, and so he is one of the promoters into the company.
Okay.
So this company, another prominent promoter of the companies are Bansal's family, father and son who are into the business. They had been a good name into the finance domain, Mr. MP Bansal.
Right.
He had been into the board of various companies, including Alcargo Logistics, Navneet Educations, and all. Very, very deep knowledge and fantastic understanding into the financial operations and all. So that Mr. Ankur Bansal had been into various companies such as Morgan Stanley and all.
Right.
He's a CA and CFA. Very good understanding of the ecosystem of MSME are the emerging companies of India.
Right.
So these two are involved in day-to-day activities. So Black Soil as a NBFC is something which actually helps the emerging companies in MSME segment actually to avail the working capital support where they are not able to get funds from the banks are
Mainstream
the
banks.
mainstream banking. So we actually help them to be bankable. And in our portfolio companies, if I name the Idea Forge, had been the portfolio company very recently, which had been listed. The other company we had, which got listed among our portfolio companies, is Yatra.
Okay.
Yeah. So another product of the Black Swell, we can say we are very much into the supply chain financing business as well. It's a purely digital platform, end to end, digitally run through, and very extensive business operations done totally on non-manual basis.
Okay.
So today we are having around 950 crore AUM, doing good. So my mandate was to diversify the borrowing profile. So since I joined, we have added many of the financial institutions and the banks in the borrowing side. So doing fairly well. Now the plan is to move forward from here.
I'm sure. Of
Yeah.
course. Interesting. Okay. Now, treasury is, as a function, is not mainstream from an education perspective.
Yeah.
Nobody thinks that I'm going to get into treasury.
Yeah.
Right? So, what advice would you give to professionals who want to get into treasury, and how should they go about doing it?
Right. So if I tell you that you will not find any subject
Right.
in any of the finance stream as a treasury being a specialized thing and being told you. So treasury, as its name says, it's a treasure. It's like, in nutshell, if I want to say, it's like bringing up the money, adding value to that money by using any of your skill. It's a sector agnostic. For manufacturing, you bring raw material with that money, add value, make finished goods, sell it, make your profit, give back to the person from where you brought the money. This is a simple thing. Services, you take money, you develop and harbor an ecosystem for rendering your services, render your service, get your feedback, and from the profit or the margin, you give back the money from where you got it. For the NBFCs, money is the raw material. So the money you get from whatever sources you can bring in, you unlend it to the portfolio companies or your borrowers. They give you back as per their repayment program. You make money and give back to the lender from where you have taken it. So it's all about, first is raising funds. Once you raise fund, then you have money in hand. Then deployment is not your field, but the moment of deployment is your field. So the cash flow is your part. You have to understand the cash flow. Whether you give the cash to the other verticals of the company in chargeable, non-chargeable basis or what basis is again the call of management and the team. Then how you will get that money back is again the part of the cash flow and liquidity management. So it's a cash flow and liquidity management. Again, you are taking money, so it's liability on you. You are using that money to make the finished goods, which is asset for you. For NBFC, you are on lending, so receivables are getting into the book, that's asset for you. So everything has also some related to some time. So for how long you have taken money? It could be 1 year, more than 1 year, or anything. For how long you have kept the finished goods into the stack for sale is again time. And on lending anyone is again related to the time. So it's a asset liability management of timing bucket. So ALM, everyone knows about the ALM. It's part of the course. So ALM comes into the picture. You can't borrow long-term money and then deploy in a short term. You can't borrow short-term money and deploy in a long term. Both are a mismatch. So that is QNED is to be avoided. Then when you get money back from your finished goods or the borrower you had given, you have to give back it to your lender. Then it is again the repayment tracking and your surplus, if anything is left out, to be deployed investment.
Yeah.
So the first raising, then it's management of your cash flow, and then investment comes into the picture. So it's all how wisely and timely
Right.
you keep rolling every penny to make more money. That's something very important for as a part of the treasury. So people say that in treasury some smart guys should be there. So it's a very smart baby of a finance function.
Of course it is.
Yeah,
Of course.
you need to be very very adept with the economy going on,
Right.
global news, where the crude is moving, what's going on in Russia-Ukraine war, what will happen in Israel. All those need to be on your tips when you are in a treasury.
True.
Yeah.
True. So, are there any recommendations that you would probably have that if somebody wants to get into treasury to take a professional course and all that, would you suggest anything over here?
Yeah, sure. I mean, the important part is that you need to be very, very good in Excel competition. A good Excel working should be there.
Right. Are there any institutions which are?
There are no institutions for this, but there are certainly few courses which runs through. Like if you want to be in treasury, then you must know when the money will come. What will you do? How long will it take to come back? So it's all about making projections and historical data. So it's like it's all about credit management. So credit monitoring assessment need to be very very good if you are a treasury guy. And this credit monitoring happens in form of a Excel, where the entire business plan is linked with the liability management and then cash flow management, liquidity management,
Right.
and all those stuff. So yes, your Excel should be very good. Number one,
True.
you also should be good in making some good presentations as well. It's a very very basic requirement. And other than that, you must be highly updated for the latest news going on.
Exactly. My next question was, how do you manage to keep yourself updated of whatever's happening in the markets?
So it's now on these days it's very very easy to get updated.
True.
Newspaper,
Right.
social media, and the WhatsApp guru. If you don't know anything, you will be the part of any of the WhatsApp group which will tell what's the new move of Hamas or what Ukraine will do now.
True.
So lots of things going on. So you need to be part of various channels
Right.
by which you get the updated circulars, updated notifications from RBI for any change in the industry and in your field, as well as keeping eye on the overall economy going on.
Pulse, yeah. Keeping a tab on the pulse.
Yes.
Well, great. Well, thank you, Manish. That was an excellent drive-through, actually, of your career journey of the last 20 years, and
Yeah.
a great insight into treasury, per se.